Hello, everybody. Good afternoon from South Africa. Welcome to everybody. Thanks for joining us here at live at the Waterhole this fine afternoon. And it seems we're starting off at Timber Elephant Park out in Putulam. And just as the name suggests, there are elephants everywhere. But yes, everybody, we are live and interactive, so we'd love to hear from you. I'd love to get some questions, receive some comments and feedback from yourselves. And if you'd like to do so, you can actually register yourself via the website to ask questions, or you can take part in the YouTube chat by typing at FC before the message, and then also that's going to be Twitter by using the hashtag, and then also the WhatsApp number. All right, everybody, you're also able to watch on the website and the app, which is quite convenient. And you can also follow on the following platforms. So Twitter is going to be at Wild Earth, Instagram is going to be Wild Earth Official, and then Facebook is going to be Wild Earth. And let's not to forget to introduce myself. My name is Andrew, and yes, I'm going to be taking care of you for the next couple of hours in nature, all these different water holes. And we'll see what animals are out and about and what we can chat about. All right, everybody, let's enjoy nature this afternoon. All right, a wonderful scene here in Maputo land with elephants all over the show, scattered all about, some of them walking, some of them standing, others drinking water. So let's spend a little bit of time here, let's watch them and see what they get up to. Penelope, yes, the cricket is in the background in the far distance. Yeah, I know it's going great so far. South Africa has 47 runs to win, and then they will win. So let's keep fingers crossed for the South African cricket team this afternoon. I know they'll do us proud, and much support out here in South Africa. Alright, as I'm sitting here in my house here in Port Alfred, nice and sunny weather this side, I'm just watching my dog Maya. She's spotted a gecko on the wall, and she's definitely fixed on it, and I don't know, she's got something that she's nuts. Oh, comical Maya, she's trying to chase some geckos on the wall this side. Very good for preventing too much geckos in the house. But she's a feisty little one. All right, Penelope, thanks for your message as well. Tembe does look wonderful in terms of the weather today, doesn't it? A little bit of cloud cover there, but no, that's going to be nice and cool for the animals. And it's a beautiful KZN coastal day after that terrible wind that you had yesterday. Yeah, we had some terrible winds our side as well, out in the Eastern Cape. It's a little bit further from your side in the the East Coast or somewhere around there. But yeah, this afternoon we're all looking forward to some nice warm summer or winter temperatures. Yeah, I must say, these winters in the Eastern Cape, they can really put you to the test. Alright, pizza man, you won't believe it. I actually had a pizza last night. Quite a nice one with some feta and avo on it. But good morning to you, and yeah, you're saying good afternoon to all the elephants and so on, and everybody else. Well, yeah, nice greeting coming from your side, and greetings right back at you. Yeah, we have a wonderful little restaurant here in this place where I'm staying. It's the name is called Guido's, and they really have the best pizzas in the whole of Port Alfred, in my opinion. So if you ever manage to get a chance to get out this way, be sure to get out there and taste one of their famous pizzas. Spas, yeah, bushbuck are quite yeah, they're quite secretive little antelopes in some areas. I'm not sure about Maputo land here in Tembe, how the bushbuck behave and so on, but generally speaking, they're very hidden in the bushy environments, in the river lines, the drainage lines and so on. And you do find them in small little groups sometimes, but most of the time quite solitary, like a duiker, like you're saying. Yeah, to see them in the daytime, I'm sure they do every now and then pop up, but it's not going to be frequent like, say, in Nyala or something else. They'll eventually pop out here.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change. Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
We are here with a male leopard.
Alright, these elephants having a good time around this waterhole. You know, a day like today, I'm sure they've done most of their feeding. So yeah, at this time of the day where it's probably quite warm there, in relation to sort of where I am, that there's a really good idea just to mill around the waterhole. You know, you can explore a little bit around here, drink some more water. There's going to be some lush vegetation, seeing this beautiful weeping bullbean in the center of the screen almost. Alright, Harry Loli, thank you for your message. You're saying hi FC and all the Wild Earth chatters from a lovely and finally warm Cape Town. Awesome start to the waterholes. Yeah, we started off wonderfully. Even this young elephant here is having a good time trying to roll back on its side and scratch its side. It's been interesting to see some of the weather that the Eastern Cape has been having, because the Western Cape is right next door, and yeah, most of the time when the Eastern Cape has these high winds or tremendous weather that travels down the path of least resistance, that weather, which is the coastline, and it smacks Eastern Cape right in the top of the head. Animal lover, it's nice to hear. You have been to Botswana, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and you're hoping to do some skiing in Lesotho soon. Okay, well that's something to look forward to, most definitely. Skiing, it's something I've never done. Done water skiing a fair amount, but not snow skiing. I think when you fall pretty hard on that snow. Right, so yeah, we've had a good time with these elephants here at Tembe. Let's go to another part in Africa, Namibia. Let's go to Safari Hook and see what's happening on that camera. Alright, so from Maputo land all the way to the desert in Namibia. And we can see the vegetation, everything is looking very different there. Elephants more or less look the same. And then, we had a problem there. We had a problem with that camera over there. Sorry about that, everybody, but no worries. We're back in Kenya now. This is Old Donyo. And I know I shouldn't be playing favorites, but this is becoming my favorite little waterhole. Rosalind McConnell, hello everyone. You are saying everyone sends their greetings back. Yes, including my little black dog Maya, who's on the bed now, definitely still looking for that gecko. She sends greetings as well. Right, Oldonyo Lodge in Kenya. It's not too far from Amboseli. Yeah, it's about 60 kilometers away, and Amboseli, still famous to this very day of ginormous elephants with massive tusks. And so being 60 kilometers away, I'm sure there's a frequent amount of very large tusked elephants that come to this very waterhole over here, like we've seen these three fine gentlemen. Sanjeev Roy, thanks for that heads up. Okay, so about an hour earlier there was about 8 big elephant bulls here at Oldonyo Waterhole about an hour ago. Well, we'll look out for them. An hour ago is not that much time. Maybe they'll be back this afternoon. Okay, so this elephant that's on the left hand side, I've seen him here before. He's one tusk, it hooks, you see that? And the other one is a little bit shorter. It looks like the one almost fits into the other. That's how I recognize this bull over here. Right, Claire from the UK. No, my time in Tanzania, which lasted about 22 days, was a good stint, I must say. We saw some elephants. We didn't see them that often. It's mainly Tarangire National Park that we saw elephants. Yeah, we saw some nice tuskers. Nothing like the ones that I've seen from pictures in Amboseli and things like that, but still very decent sized individuals. That was very nice. And going to Umkomazi National Park. Umkomazi in the local language means a spoon of water, because the land gets just so little water. So they named it Umkomazi, which is neighboring the Savo area, which Savo is world famous for getting very little rain. So in that sense, doesn't support big herds of elephants and mega herbivores and so on. But we got to see some elephants at Umkomazi. Saw a massive bull, which is a lovely learning curve for the students. And instead of seeing an elephant bull coming towards a vehicle and then sort of running away, I was teaching them to just watch the behavior of the animal and figure out for yourself, are you in a safe situation or not. So we did this over a period of about 10 days, 11 days. And it was wonderful to see the confidence build with these guys. They are very kind people, and they just wanted to learn the whole time. And having this sort of this idea where we're just going to monitor and watch animal behavior the whole time and interpret it. It was wonderful to see the confidence in these guys grow about being around such big herbivores like elephants. Because until you get to know them, it's natural to fear them. Alright, something spooked them off a little bit there. Not sure what that was. Maybe it's 1 ton. Penelope, I believe there's a massive elephant that comes to this waterhole. Not sure why these elephants are running. He could be on the way. But something has definitely annoyed these elephants. Alright, so let's just stick around and just see what may have spooked those elephants. It could be another elephant, it could be a lion, who really knows. I don't suppose there's going to be people walking nearby this vicinity, so I don't think we can include that.
I met this remarkable rhino bull, whose name is Samson, last year in a place of extraordinary beauty, history and story. I'm going back there to see him in October, and I think you should come with me to his mysterious mountain fastness.
South Africa's wild places are closer than you think, because Federal Airlines brings them to you. From the calm of our FedAir lounge to the smooth boarding of our trusted fleet, we take care of the journey so you can enjoy the adventure. Our flights go beyond the ordinary, connecting you to South Africa's most remote and extraordinary locations. Federal Airlines, your gateway to the South African wild. Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
If you love watching Wild Earth, here's a little tip. You'll gain access to the channel ad-free. You can rewind and rewatch sightings and gain access to our live Tuesday safaris. There's also behind the scenes videos, fireside chats, and every safari live episode whenever it suits you. It's just the best way to connect with nature.
Alright, so we'll let those elephants settle in Aldonyo, and our directors will be paying very close attention there just in case lions do come out there and want to drink water. So they'll be watching while we are watching a nice group of elephants here in Maputo land. Oh, it was quite interesting. One of the reserves that I worked at, they purchased quite a nice high definition camera for the waterhole, and then they were going to connect that feed to a TV that could be watched at the lodge. So when guests are having dinner and things like that, they can watch whatever animals drinking water at the waterhole without necessarily being there. And the one evening when everybody went to bed and everybody woke up in the morning and came through, they noticed that there's a blank screen on the TV now. So what's happening with the camera? So some of the staff went down to go and see the camera, and yeah, true's Bob, the camera was gone, nowhere to be seen, and elephant tracks all around. So they realized that the elephants pulled this camera out, and they literally pulled it from the socket where they attached it to the stump. And it took them 6 months to find this camera, and this camera was laying in the dirt, the mud, the heat of the day, all types of weather, until they eventually found it. And the person that found it brought it back to the lodge. They reconnected everything, and it still worked. Can you believe that? That camera still worked, and it's still being used to this day. Oh, he's seeing this elephant. It's got quite a deep tear in the ear there. Yeah, that must have been painful when it happened. Alright, it's very, very quiet this afternoon at all the different cameras at the dams. It seems like, yeah, no, today is one of those days where things go slow, which is fine. We join nature's pace, like I say. Luckily, we have an elephant bull here, just milling around. Just had a nice dust bath. Yeah, looking fairly green this side in Maputo land. Just looking at this thorn tree that's behind this elephant, it looks like it's probably a river thorn, also known as a brackthorn. And yeah, these are vachelias that get quite large, growing along the river lines and where there's drainage lines as well in water. But if you've ever managed to see a river thorn or a blackthorn in its full glory, they get ginormous compared to the rest of the vachelias, old acacias if you will. Alright, doesn't seem like these elephants are going anywhere this afternoon. We can always come back here, but we are going to go to Rosie's pan in the meantime to see what's happening on that side. Alright, so a very different view, very nice nice high angle here at Rosie's Pan, Olifants West Game Reserve. Olifants, wonderful area for game viewing. I've been there before. I've been, which side? I've been more Salati, which is next door to Olifants, but it's not much of a difference between the two. Lots of elephants in this area. Listening to a blacksmith lapwing in the background. Oh, Claire from the UK. I've had so many interesting elephant experiences over the years. So many. But there's one that really stands out the most to me. I'm not going to say it was the most memorable, but it was something that I've never forgotten to this day. And this happened when I was a much younger guy. It was about 12 years ago this happened, but this particular reserve where I was viewing these elephants are known to be very curious by vehicles, very. And they sometimes even get into the road and block you off the road, and they want to be close to the vehicles all the time, and you try and park far away from them and they just come to you. Not because they're being fed or anything like that. I think they're just very habituated to having vehicles around. I saw videos of an elephant scratching its body on the spare wheel of this one vehicle. So I kind of knew what I was getting into, that I'm going to just really watch the distance with these elephants. Anyway, so I was watching this herd of elephants. I just switched the vehicle off. As I switched the vehicle off, this elephant bull walked straight towards the vehicle. It's almost like he was waiting for me to switch off. And so as I switched off, he walked straight towards me. But he wasn't walking towards the front of the vehicle, it was towards the side of the vehicle, my side. So he walked, so it's almost like he's going to T-bone us, so sort of just to try and imagine that angle. And so he was walking towards me very quickly. There was no time to even think about moving, and I knew what he was going to do. He was going to come and stand next to the Land Cruiser. So by this stage, I mean, it's happening, there's no time, let it happen. That's what you must do. So that's what I did. And this elephant walked straight up to the vehicle and was touching the vehicle. I couldn't believe it. But furthermore, he put his trunk in the vehicle and started to smell my feet, and then put his trunk on my lap, and then took a big gasp of air, and then blew that gasp of air out, which sent all this mucus flying and landed all over my uniform and stuff. And then he turned around and defecated and urinated, which is a typical sign that he's showing dominance over us here, that he's not challenging us, he's just showing us who's boss. And he walked away. I'll tell you what, it was in the afternoon this happened, I had to stop for drinks earlier with my guests, set up a table and let them have some snacks and some drinks, while I just needed to go behind the bush and just compose myself and take a few deep breaths, because in that moment you realize that as a human you're tiny. There's no comparison to such a big, powerful animal, and you're just a human. Yeah, we've got intelligence and things like that. So do elephants, but yeah, you have an elephant put you in your place like that. For many years, I thought about that almost on a daily basis. So that was probably one of the scenarios that I can think most clearly with elephants. And then Claire, there was another scenario that I also had. This is when I was a guide for about 3 years, not even. And this reserve that I worked at, they used to encourage you having your friends and family over. And so I'll continue the story. We're going to go back to Tembe now, and while we're going back there, I'll continue the story as we get there.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. I grew up mostly in the Lowveld. I grew up here pretty much on the southern side of Kruger National Park, a place called Marlow Park, for most of my years. Something surprising about myself, I did play drums in a band for many years. Best sighting I presented, we found Palumba in the 2 cubs, and the cubs are just way big.
Step away from your daily stress and escape into nature with Wild Earth. Immerse yourself in the wilderness and become part of the natural landscape. Watch as everything comes alive. Join us as we slow down our thoughts, put aside our distractions, and reconnect with the wild.
Sanjeev, yeah, sounds like you're quite the supporter of cricket. Are you supporting South Africa to win? Because you say that they're being the underdog. Well, no, previous games, we've definitely shown Australia who is the force. But they've also shown us who is the force right back on other occasions. So it's always one of those. It's the classic clashes between the likes of South Africa and Australia. Animal lover, thanks for the curiosity there. Yeah, I know it's probably many people are wondering the same thing. Who takes care of my Maya, when I'm out in the bush on a stint. Well, she's pretty well trained. So I just open a big bag of dog food, and then I fill the bath with water and hope for the best. No, I'm just joking. I will never do that, by the way. That would be animal cruelty. But yeah, my dad, he takes good care of her. And yeah, so I come and see her when I'm at the end of my stint. Sometimes those stints can last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Other times they can last a couple of months. Yeah, it's one of the hardest things ever in the world, is to say goodbye to your pet, especially one in which you love so much. It never gets easy. And for all the dog lovers out there that have to leave their pets from time to time, yeah, I know that pain. It's not an easy one. Right, these two elephants just having a nap, it seems, over here. They found a nice little piece of shade there. And no, it won't be surprising if they take a nap over here, which looks like one of them at least is already doing so. Easter secret. Oh, I'm not too sure how far this waterhole is from the homestead. That I cannot answer you. I'm not actually here at this waterhole. I'm at the comfort of my own little house. Right, these elephants, they're standing fast over here. Let's leave them for now. Let's go to Lentora and see what birds are around that camera at the moment. Oh, share my director this morning. Welcome to our world. This happens to us all the time. There were a number of birds here earlier on, and now they've just flown away as the camera came. Oh, there's a tree squirrel there. Yeah, this tree squirrel is rather red on the underparts. Did you notice that? The tree squirrel, same species we get here in South Africa, but they don't look that red. They're more grey. Wow. These are not ground squirrels. Oh, let me take a look here. Yeah, it's a ground squirrel over here. So a little bit more bigger, a little bit more weightier than that of a tree squirrel. But one of the telltale signs of a ground squirrel is the very bushy tail, which they in fact actually lift above their heads when it's very hot and make a little... Oh no, this is a tree squirrel. No, I'm going back to ground squirrel. Sorry, my screen is a bit small, but yeah, you can see that big tail going over its entire back. So this is a ground squirrel. Yeah, I've been lucky to spend some time watching ground squirrels in some of the other game reserves that I've worked at in the past. The ground squirrels that I remember the most was in the Kalahari, for the fact that we used to follow meerkats and we used to watch meerkats in this particular reserve, and eventually they got so used to people being around them without offering them anything or harming them that people could watch them, you know, normally doing their normal things. And we watch these ground squirrels creating these lovely burrows, and then the meerkats come along and they overrun with the squirrels, and they take over the passages, and they take over the burrows. Sometimes coexisting with meerkats as well. Kaylee, afternoon to you. I'm very versatile when it comes to that. So I mean, it's very nice to be able to be so close to home. So just to give you an idea, Kaylee, I'm roughly about 120 kilometers away from Amakhala. When I leave my door until I arrive at the gates at Amakhala, it's about 110 kilometers and about another 10 to get to my accommodation. So it's nice to be so close. It'll take me like an hour and a half to get home with a drive. But I'm sure in the future you'll see me in the Sabi Sand or Sandringham. Yeah, in the future, maybe even Mabula. I've always mentioned that I'd love to head off to Mabula again. That's where I started my career, in Mabula Game Lodge, Game Reserve in the Waterberg. I'd love to go and check it out again. I have no doubt that'll happen in the future. I will be doing some training later this year with some field guide students coming up in August, around about then. And yeah, in August I've got my 20th high school reunion. Cannot believe 20 years has gone by since I've seen the brothers. So yeah, August is going to be a very special day for myself and the rest of the people joining for that. And we're looking forward to all catching up again. Listening to some of the chirps of the birds. Sorry, the one earlier on was a little bit difficult to focus on, but I can hear some grey-headed sparrows in the background here. I saw them here yesterday. David, yeah, your eyes are working hard this afternoon. You got one eye on the waterhole, one eye on the cricket. Yeah, do let us know what the score is. I suppose I can always search it now. Oh, we've got a 5-inch of sort, that nice reddish one. Beautiful, look at all these little colors here. That looks potentially like a common wax bill as well. Oh, Doreen. Oh, the best part about teaching other guides. For me, the biggest reward at the end is seeing someone who's quite shy, unconfident, yeah, take on the huge responsibility of training and becoming a guide. And at the end of the course, when they've developed more confidence in themselves, that is so rewarding, because it's so impactful, because you've impacted someone's life. You've helped them to come out of a comfort zone and learn about something that is totally foreign, and then at the end of the day they start doing it right. That is a very rewarding feeling. Spas, yeah, we're going to be looking out for some hammerkops. We're looking for some hammerkops this afternoon. Well, we'll look around for them.
Join me, Andrew Wistenholm, for an indescribable 6-night stay in the beautiful Albany of the Eastern Cape at Amakhala Game Reserve. Now, this trip is going to be action-packed with a lot of storytelling, adventure, as well as the opportunity to make everlasting memories. We'll be exploring the best of Amakhala by staying at 2 luxury lodges, which will be the perfect blend of comfort as well as wilderness. Book your spot today and let's get ready to explore the wild beauty of Amakhala.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
My full name is Cedric Leslie Dold. The best driver at Wild Earth, it is me. I believe I'm the best driver. I think so, because I've... best part of my job, I say, is just to try and look out for these animals, track them down. I love tracking animals. I love looking for, you know, fresh tracks, and if you can find them, it's just at the moment of accomplishment. If I wasn't a presenter for Wild Earth, I would be the drummer for AC/DC.
Out here, every moment counts. As a Wild Earth explorer, you won't miss a thing. Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7 and rewind if you want to catch something again. Enjoy behind-the-scenes videos, fireside chats, and early access to travel offers. It's the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
Alright, quite a fair amount of activity happening here, but there is a Blesbok antelope at Founders. We want to go there quickly before it heads off, so let's go there to the Eastern Cape quickly. Okay, another waterhole that I'm beginning to really start to enjoy is this Mantis Founders Lodge camera at the dam here in the Eastern Cape, which is not too far. This very reserve is adjacent to Amakhala Game Reserve, and very different species occurring in these Eastern Cape parts, like the blesbok that is now walking away. Yeah, what I really enjoy about this waterhole is the red earth. I think anybody who sees red soil, red earth, I don't know, there's something very appealing about it. At least it is for me. And it sort of gives you this idea that you're sort of on a different planet where there's water. But other than that, it's fairly quiet there here in the Eastern Cape. Oh, yesterday we had a few rhino bulls and a cow and a calf come and have some water here. Every now and then we see some what do you call, elephants. Oh, what would be lovely if there was a leopard in the stream. A leopard in the tree would be just something. Right, we're going to leave the Eastern Cape. We're going to go to the Timbavati Game Reserve out and heading towards the southern Timbavati and in King's Camp. And so take a look what's happening in the land of the Timbavati. Alright, here's a scene that brings back many memories from my time when I used to be a guide at the Timbavati. I was further north, but we often used to traverse onto King's Camp land. And yeah, the bushveld there, looking like a typical Timbavati bushveld sort of a scene, with some raisins growing next to the water, some nice big knobthorn in the background there, and then these elephants over here as well. It looks like a knobthorn. Yeah, so spending a portion of my career in the Timbavati Game Reserve was really an eye-opener for myself, being a young guide. Because the Timbavati was the second place that I worked. I mentioned the first one was at Mabula, and then I left there after spending about 3.5 years at Mabula, and then I moved over to the Timbavati Game Reserve, and yeah, being part of the Greater Kruger National Park, animals coming in and going out, very rich with things like leopard, a lion, spotted hyena, and these were things that are really, except for lion. But the other two animals, leopard and spotted hyena, were animals that I never really spent time with, being in the Waterberg. And having this opportunity to now work in the Timbavati Game Reserve with this pristine wildlife, it was an eye-opener for myself. I learned so much, and I got to see a lot of things for the first time properly, like wild dog and so on. So for me, Timbavati will always be a really special reserve in my eyes. Right, Penelope, have you been to Timbavati Game Reserve? I see you saying it's a great reserve to be in. I'll have to agree with you. Timavati, yeah, no, it's special, very special. It's flat land. There's no mountains or anything nearby there. It's very flat land, typical low-felt sort of topography. And then the northern Timavati, this is where the thick Mapani scrub starts to grow. The northern part of Timavati going up towards the Umbabat area, and then eventually crosses over into Plaseri. Wildlife lady, nice little celebration there, saying hooray, more elephants. You can never get tired of watching these sort of animals, never. No, elephants are very special animals, and game reserves are truly lucky to have them. Africa is lucky to have elephants. Just look at a very iconic species in the world. We think of African elephant. Sanjeev, that's it. I'm just wondering if this herd is not split up and we've got a portion of them coming down to the water, or is this just the family size? It would be quite small for a herd of elephant, but not impossible. Deb Davis, you're talking about the red earth that we were talking about earlier on, and yeah, your daughter likes to play in that red earth. Well, good luck washing those clothes, as you say. That's a chore in itself. Right, I don't think these elephants are going to stick around too much longer here. Seems like this big cow's leading this herd away from the water now. Alright, seems like there's a fair breeze here this afternoon. See all the leaves, the trees actually moving around here. Alright, doesn't seem like the elephants are sticking around for long enough for us to really have a good time watching them, but that's fine. We're going to go to Aldonio. Let's see if there's something happening there. Right, back in Kenya, Aldonio. We have a magnificent elephant bull here. I'm not sure how long he's been here, but he's having a good drink of water. Hopefully he sticks around for a little bit. So just earlier on there were some other elephants drinking here, and they took off running and trumpeting in the bush. Not quite sure what caused that commotion. Could have been this gentleman here. It could be lions walking around. We will never know, I guess. This is quite a decent sized elephant bull, this one. Just looking at the base of his trunk, very thick there. Some wonderful close-ups here. Now we can actually see the near ungulate style of their foot. Alright, elephants are what we call near ungulates. So they literally have toes in the front there. Look at this animal. What a wonderful close-up. Thank you very much to the zoomie that's doing this. Doing good work here. And this elephant bull in no particular rush to drink water. It's just doing things on his own time. Right, now we can see all the details here in the wrinkles in their skin. And this elephant bull's not drinking water, he's pulling something out of the side there. Penelope, thanks for that. This elephant bull definitely knows how to pose his best side, doesn't he? No, he's a very nice bull, this one. He'll make some good screenshots, no doubt. But this bull's heading towards his, I don't know how you would call it, but he's getting on in years, this bull. We can see the dents on the top of the forehead there. They're starting to indent. So literally, as elephant bulls start to get older, the shape of their skull starts to change slightly. Yeah, Nathan, yeah, I mentioned a little bit of this earlier on. We didn't see too much elephants when I was out in Tanzania. Going to the one national park, yeah, we saw them not every day. It was at Tarangire National Park, which, because of the amounts of water, yeah, they've got very, very large herds of elephants there. But we spent most of our time at Mkomazi National Park, and Mkomazi, although it was raining when we were there, and let me tell you, the roads, oh man, in that weather, the roads are very slippery, and you need to pay close attention when driving, because sometimes you catch a slide, and before you know it, you're in a donga. You know, it means you've driven into a hole in the side of the road, which, yeah, to get out of, you usually need a tractor or something. But yeah, we saw elephants a few times, not many times. But there was one scenario where we had this elephant bull, and he was coming very close to our Land Cruiser. It wasn't an open Land Cruiser like the ones we use in South Africa. It's a closed vehicle with a sunroof. And it's teaching the guides to become a bit more confident in the interpretation of their animal behavior, because for a guide, that is the most important. That is where it all begins, understanding animal behavior, because that means you're going to be able to understand if an animal's stressed or if you're in a dangerous situation. You know, you're not just looking after your own life, you're looking after tourists' lives as well. So monitoring and being able to interpret animal behavior is an absolute must. So not that they couldn't do it already, but just I noticed they were very incredibly respectful of elephants, which is good. But they would stop 50 meters, 60 meters away from elephants, which is a bit far, and slowly taught them, yeah, you know, they're very gentle creatures, that they're not really there to harm anybody. Right, looks like a giraffe has come to drink as well on the far right side. Right, and the giraffe has just left, and slowly but surely coming up are two warthogs. It's like one young female, one young male warthog here. And I'm not sure if any of you are finding the same, but here in South Africa right now, on social media, the warthog is very, very popular. And there's some interesting videos of, you know, warthogs chasing cheetah, stumbling across lions and running away, and then having this song in the background, which is becoming very famous in South Africa. It's Kosongo. So I don't know if you want to check it out. You can just type in Kosongo on your YouTube, and you're going to see a lot of warthog videos popping up. quite interesting watching this female giraffe bending right over these warthogs to take a drink. This is going to be quite interesting. Yeah, Hannah, bush pig and warthogs, yeah, there's a fair size difference. You know, I think a heavy male warthog will consider to be about 90 kilograms. But a heavy male bush pig, you're looking at about 130 kilograms. So yeah, there's quite a number of kilograms difference between the two. And you will know the difference when you see them. What you're looking at looks sort of like a warthog, but doesn't look like a warthog, and you know it's a bush pig. Yeah, bush pigs are very shy animals. In all the game reserves that I've worked at, bush pigs are not very frequently seen. You mainly find them roaming around in the nocturnal times, in the night times.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
I get to wake up every morning and go out there and look for cats. I get to create my everyday safari for myself. I grew up in the sort of central eastern suburbs of Johannesburg, fully qualified trails guide and a fully qualified nature conservationist. I love the wild places. I love being in the wilderness. It's probably one of the best jobs I've ever had and probably ever could have. Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We'll be
And you pretend like you're a serviceman, eh?
Got no idea what's going on in this reserve. Expecting the unexpected.
Are we stuck down there?
What am I trying to do?
So we have another giant of Mabula.
That was incredible.
This is unbelievable.
It's going to be a spectacular afternoon.
Out here, every wild moment matters, and as a Wild Earth explorer, you won't miss a thing. Watch the Wild Earth channel, ad-free 24/7, where you can even rewind and watch something again. Get access to behind-the-scenes videos, fireside chats, and access to early travel offers. It is the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
Yeah, just with all the different animals, you know, over the last, what's it now, this is the 4th day coming that I've been doing the live at the waterhole. It's just, you know, watching this particular camera with all the different wildlife that have been coming here. Of course, mainly elephants and giraffe and so on. But I think it'll be so fascinating to watch this camera for like a 24-hour period. It just seems like this little spot attracts a lot of wildlife. Kevin, thanks for your question. It's so difficult to say how the elephants in Amakhala compared to here differ with size. It's very difficult to judge this one's size. Yeah, unfortunately the giraffes have left now, but when another animal comes and drinks water, so we can get a bit of a scale there. But yeah, elephants in Kenya, they are also known to get tremendously large. In Botswana as well. And then in South Africa, not all the elephants are massive, but there are some big ones. 2 of them are at Amakhala Game Reserve. But I must say, you know, the elephants in the Eastern Cape, comparing to some of the elephants that I've seen sort of further north in South Africa, yeah, I would definitely say that the Eastern Cape has got some seriously strong genetics. Right, Nara S, thanks for your question. No, elephants, they're not the only ones that have been known to dig for water. Primates as well, and rodents and birds, they've been also known to dig for water as well. Not giraffe though. Giraffe, they cannot. I'm just trying to identify which exact species of giraffe this is. I'm thinking maybe Maasai giraffe, but I'm not familiar enough. But this one is most definitely pregnant in the front here. Yeah, they're very patient animals, wildlife lady. Giraffes are particularly patient. Yeah, they're also in no rush this afternoon, and I don't think there's any need to rush around. They've got everything that they need around here. Open spaces, some water, some lush green vegetation. Jenna, it's a difficult question. Probably Botswana, perhaps. The most common place that giraffes get preyed upon on waterholes, or at waterholes. Probably Botswana in the marshlands. But other than that, I'm not quite sure. And have I ever seen a cat take a giraffe? No, never. Not while the giraffe was alive, at least. It was a fair amount of lions that have caught giraffe that I've seen, but not the actual kill. And then a male leopard in Timbawati caught a young calf. He managed to catch that and lost its kill to a spotted hyena later on in the night. just very wonderful just to sit here and just watch these animals drinking and just doing their thing. It just seems like animals just keep coming and going, coming and going. You can actually see that that giraffe is so much taller than this elephant, just the way this elephant was looking at the giraffe. He was looking up as this giraffe was towering over him. I don't know, just sense a head shake coming from this elephant. I'm just going to watch and see if he's going to do it. Mindy, this is quite a nice sighting, isn't it? So this giraffe drinking on the one side and others just piling up. And another from beyond.
Katika mwanga wa mwezi kivuli hutembea, mrembo mweusi anayepotea, macho yake ni taa, gizani huwaka, fuvu la msitu, malkia anayejificha.
Best sighting I've presented. I found myself with wild dogs. We chased the dogs around, chased them around. They ate an impala. We got the end of that. Then another impala went into Gowrie Dam down the road there, and the wild dogs went around. Eventually the impala came close to the bank. One wild dog went and grabbed it and then just pulled it out and just did what wild dogs do. It was an emotional experience, but it was very, very special.
Safari, wine, and waterfalls. The ultimate African adventure. Sip South Africa's finest wines. Experience a world-class safari among Africa's iconic wildlife. And stand in front of Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. All this can be yours with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Spuss, I have actually witnessed giraffes mating before on a few occasions. Not many though. Yeah, it's a very quick thing. It doesn't last for very long. It's basically a quick mount and then that's it. Oh, Nara S, this is reminding you of the escape to nature days. Well, let me tell you, I often think about those days. Man, we used to work so hard during those days. Because we used to head out in the morning, which was the sunrise safari that lasted 3 hours. And then we would head out again straight after the sunrise finished until about 2:30 in the afternoon. Some days we used to alternate, that we would do the morning escape to nature and then do the afternoon opposed to the morning. But yeah, there's a lot of fun times doing that because yeah, that's where I was doing it at in Amakala Game Reserve, is that you can explore the reserve in the time of the day when the other vehicles are all back at the camp with their guests. So you have the whole reserve to yourself and you find all types of wildlife. And you watch them for as long or short as you want to, and then you move on. It was a lot of fun. And myself and Morgan, we ended up exploring a lot of Amakala together, making our way, you know, through the dune thickets, all the way through the plains, sometimes getting into those valleys, climbing those valleys to get to some of these top areas like Tiny T and so on. But yeah, we're going to be returning back to Amakala on the 23rd, and yeah, we've got our work cut out for us. Yeah, we need to spend as much time looking for those cheetah cubs as we can and watch them while they're growing up. Because yeah, it's not every day that a reserve has got these beautiful cheetah cubs, so that's something to look forward to. Right, so now we're back at Tembe Elephant National Park here in Maputo land. Oh, today's been it's been an elephant type of a day today, hasn't it? We've been seeing elephants, yeah, most of the cameras that we've been to, but nothing like here. There's elephants been scattered out here for a number of hours now. Yeah, it seems like these elephants are all doing their own little thing. One is looking for some mud to throw on the body, others are sunbathing, others are dust bathing. So a lot of elephants here, but they're all doing their own thing. Right, so some other elephant bulls have just arrived at Old Donyo, so let's leave this camera at Mapuche land. Let's go check out Old Donyo and join those elephants. Alright, so a nice little cluster of elephant bulls here. Let's watch them and enjoy the sounds of them drinking water. Alright, showing the poor giraffes in the background are just going to need to wait their turn. It might be a bit of a wait, because these elephants don't seem like they want to move anytime soon.
Now this leopard that we're looking at is known by the name of Hlalamba.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
If you love watching Wild Earth, here's a little tip. Become a member. You can gain access to the channel ad-free, you can rewind and re-watch sightings, and you can join our Tuesday live safaris. There's also behind the scenes videos, fireside chats, and every Safari Live episode, whenever you want it. It's just a better way to stay connected to nature.
Guy in the group. This is a very full picture this afternoon. These elephants are feeling a little bit skittish. The zeb is taking up some more space there. Wow, this is quite something, watching all these elephants and all these zebras. Yeah, this is by far the most activity we've had on the camera this afternoon. Thank you, Wildlife Lady, for that. I'll be enjoying the rest of my break. I'll be back on for live at the waterhole tomorrow. Then Ben will be taking over from myself. But yeah, I'll definitely enjoy the break. Make sure I get some rest. So myself and Morgan, we have an action-packed upcoming stint at Amakhala Game Reserve. So yeah, looking forward to that. And we're also thanking Final Control and the Zoomies for their help zooming the camera this afternoon. Indeed, yeah, they're a very big part of what we do here, the Zoomies and our directors and everybody at Final Control. Yeah, lots and lots of dust now. David, you're heading off to lunch now. You must enjoy your lunch. Yeah, not much time left. There's like three or 2 minutes left now. So that's a good little gap for you to go and have some lunch. Must be pretty intimidating, even if you're a zebra. Zebras are fairly large and tough animals, but so maybe you arrive at a waterhole and there's just a wall of elephants. That must be quite nerve-wracking. So these elephants have been very graceful. Giving them a little bit of a gap there, quickly to have a drink, and they'll move off and the elephants can resume surrounding this waterhole. Alright everybody, slowly but surely this is heading towards the end of today's live at the waterhole. But rest assured, I'll be back tomorrow, and then also Sunset Safari is also about to start shortly after this. So we look forward to that. It's been really nice having you all join us this afternoon. Thanks for all the questions and all the comments. tomorrow brings a new day, hopefully filled with lots of amazing encounters at some of these watering holes. I look forward to seeing what comes about tomorrow. But until then, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a lovely day, everybody. Enjoy the sunset safari.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We're heading on a journey through some of South Africa's loveliest nature havens. We'll discover some interesting fauna and flora while being astounded by Africa's beauty. Our locations are unique and diverse, with jaw-dropping landscapes and fascinating wildlife. At the cutting edge of conservation and ecotourism, if you like what you see on Safari Spotlight, you can visit these wild and special places. We'll send you on a dream safari.